all yours.
All right, take it away, Meredith.
Hi, hello everybody. Good evening. I'm so happy to be here with you. And today we are looking at what we call Create with Clay, Mythical Creatures. And this is what the box looks like. Woo! So this is a super fun kit. And it's something that we haven't done before on our Michael's classes, and it's playing with modeling clay. And this is clay that doesn't dry out, and it's really easy to squish together and blend and mold into whatever you want. So I can't wait to do this with you. I'm so happy you're here. So should we go ahead and look what's in the box, Jennifer?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. All right, we have our instructions, which are always very important to take a look at. We have our modeling clay, and this is a really good amount of clay. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bricks of clay. We have fun feathers. Let's see, what else do we have in here? More feathers. Ooh. We have our clay tools. Let's see. 1 and 2. We have our wiggly eyes, of course. And then finally, we have our mythical creatures. And these mythical creatures were created specifically just for this kit. So these are original forms that Faber-Castell created specifically for our mythical creatures Create with Clay kit. So let's take a look here. We'll clear things away at what we should do first. Okay. Ooh, we have a little bit of a legend as to what these mythical creatures are. So the unicorn, that's this guy here. The unicorn's horn was said to have magical powers. In European folklore, it was a symbol of purity and grace. So we have our unicorn. In ancient Egypt, the phoenix was believed to be the size of an eagle covered in beautiful golden feathers that burst into flames. So here's our phoenix. And the word dragon comes from the Greek word drakonta, which means to watch. This explains why dragons are often seen as beasts that guard or hoard treasures. So we have our dragon here. Let's see, okay.
Very cool. I didn't know any of that.
I know. Well, these mythical creatures, they all come with some folklore, so it just makes it even more magical to be doing this kit today. So of course we want to make sure that our hands are clean and our surface is all prepared to use clay on. So what I like to do, I'll clear out some room. We'll put those feathers to the side for later. I like to work on something that the clay won't exactly stick to. And so this is a little mat that I've gotten from a different kit, but it has a really shiny surface. And you can see that the clay probably won't stick to this because the surface is coated. So if you're working on a wooden table, you might want to put down like a piece of plastic or something in order to cover your work surface so the clay does not stick to your work surface. So I'm just going to go ahead and take that down.
Hey Meredith, before we begin, can you tell our friends if they don't have this kit, what they can use?
Sure. So the whole idea of this kit is basically sculpting. So if you have any kind of a figurine, like a little plastic action figure or a little plastic animal or a little plastic dinosaur or anything like that, that's what we're going to be covering up with clay. So if you take your little plastic dog and then you have some modeling clay or any kind of clay that you have around, you can form it over top of your little plastic doggy and create whatever you'd like. So that's the basis of what this craft is all about. And actually, for professional artists, what they would consider this little plastic thing that we're putting clay on top of, the term is called an armature. So we are using mythical creature armatures to create our full sculptures of mythical creatures. Does that help out, Jennifer?
Yeah, so we just have some of our friends are just letting us know that they don't have the kit. And so everyone out there, that's okay. So if you don't have the kit, like Meredith said, you can use some figurines that you have. Maybe, I know my kids have some farm animals. And if you have some modeling clay, that's really all you need, right, Meredith?
That's right, yep. So let's get started. I'm going to choose the unicorn to cover first. So it says in the instructions to choose a color of clay that you want to make your sculpture. What do you think? What color should we make our unicorn? Green, yellow, orange, purple, blue, yellow? What do you think? How about yellow?
Sounds good.
Okay. And I love this clay because it's so soft and easy to work with. It comes right out of the plastic, really nice. You can just break off a piece. I broke off about this much, so not exactly half, maybe about a third. And we can always get more if we need to. So we're gonna just roll it into a ball. And how I do that is kind of squeezing it into a ball shape. And when you squeeze the clay, you're actually warming it up and making it softer, so it's even easier to mold and to use. So I've kind of squoze it into a ball shape. And now what you can do is you can put it between your palms and you kind of roll it around in your palms and you put a little bit of pressure on it and it forms into more of a ball. You can actually, the clay mat that I have here, it kind of shows you, you can do it on the table too. So you don't have to do it between your hands. You can do it on the table and you can push a little bit harder and then you'll get your ball shape. So it doesn't have to be exact. We just wanted to create a ball so then we can squish it. So if you squish it, it makes it easier to lay down flat onto your unicorn or your figurine. So I'm going to squish it down with my hands and make it nice and flat. And make sure I can still peel it up. And then I'm kind of going to knead it with my fingers and make it even more thin, more flat. And we're going to place it over our unicorn body. So just kind of going to lay it on top. It looks like it's about halfway over each side. We're going to just squeeze it like that. And you can squeeze it on and it sticks because this is modeling clay. So modeling clay, it likes to stick to things. So right now we have so far his back or her back covered and part of her tail. and hardly any of her neck. So let's get some more clay and cover up the neck and the head. So doing the same thing that we did before, just gonna grab some clay and we'll roll it into a ball. I'll use our mat and roll it on our mat. Oh, this clay is so soft. I love it. And we're gonna squish it down. And squishing clay is so fun. And I can't wait to show you guys a marbling technique with clay because that's really fun too. And if the clay does stick to your surface, you can always kind of like pick it back up with the clay in your hand. Just kind of rub it over top of the clay that's stuck and it just picks right up. So we're mushing it up, making it nice and flat, and then putting it on our unicorn armature. Look at that. Looks like he has a hoodie on. There we go. And I want to make the unicorn horn a different color, actually a couple different colors. So I'm going to use my clay tool and kind of just cut away the clay that is going over the horn. You can just peel that right off. And you just smoosh it over top of his little nose. There we go.
Looking good, man.
Thank you, Jennifer. And we don't want to lose too much of his detail underneath his chin. We want to keep that definition right here. So you kind of just squeeze it around. And here where this piece of clay meets that piece of clay, I'm just gonna use my finger and kind of blend it together so it's nice and seamless. And I'll do the same over here. Just blending it together like that. So we've already covered half of our unicorn. This is great. All right, I'm going to use some of this leftover clay to finish covering his little nose and mouth. There we go. And you can kind of imagine, or you don't even have to imagine, you can look at the box and see what his nose could look like. What does a unicorn nose look like? And it's kind of squared off at the end, so I'm just going to tap the tip of it so it's a little bit more squared off. There we go. And we can use this other piece to cover up the tail a little bit. Now unicorns actually have really long tails, like their manes are made of hair. So this is just the start of the tail, and then we can add more clay on to make the actual tail, the actual hair of the tail. So this is just kind of like a little starter of the tail where you know where to place it. So I'm going to get some more clay and then finish covering up his legs and the under part of his belly and his chest. So Jennifer, have you ever seen any movies about unicorns?
Oh, I'm sure I have. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Have you ever heard of a My Little Pony?
Oh, yes. My Little Pony.
I grew up with My Little Pony. I loved My Little Ponies. They were so pretty. All right, smush this down. And peel it up. And I'm gonna hold it up, hold the clay up to our little leg to see how much I might need. So I only need about this much. So I'm gonna rip it off and use the rest of it for the other legs and for his chest. So just gonna wrap that around. There we go. And what's fun is you can kind of form his little foot. You can like add anything you want onto the clay to really make it look however you want. That's the fun part about this. You're given a shape, but you can really just kind of add clay on to make it look like whatever shaped unicorn you want. Or give him different details, like maybe he has 2 horns. So here's his one leg. And we'll rip off another piece for his another leg. How are our friends doing out there? Are they covering up their unicorn too?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. How's everyone doing? And if you don't have the kit, what are you covering up with clay?
Yeah, I'm wondering. Is anyone covering up a panda bear? No. I like your suggestion of the farm animals.
Yeah.
You could use a horse and turn that into a unicorn just by adding a horn.
So we have some friends out there who said they don't have the kit, but they have a dinosaur one. So yeah, so we actually have a dinosaur kit as well, which we forgot to mention in the beginning. So we have the Create with Clay Mythical Creatures and Create with Clay Dinosaur. So it's essentially the same kit, just different figurines, which is, it's really fun. Another friend says little people horses. Another friend is doing Legos and human figurines, a dinosaur, a princess. Another friend has Play-Doh. So they're making something from scratch. That's a great idea.
Wow.
A T-Rex. We have some more dinosaurs. Very cool. Thank you everyone for sharing.
It sounds like we have some very creative participants out there.
I agree.
Awesome.
Oh, another friend, Grace, is decorating her plastic cats. One making a lion, another a dinosaur. Very cool.
Wow. I do have some of our dinosaurs here. I'll show you just as little examples, but first I'll finish up our unicorn. I think it would be fun to cover up a horse or a cat and make it with rainbow clay. Marble up some clay in all different colors, and then it would be a rainbow cat or a rainbow horse. That'd be kind of fun.
That's a great idea.
It looks like I'll use up almost all of the yellow on our unicorn body. Good thing we're given as much clay as we are, so we won't be running out. There we go. Yep, just squishing it together and blending all the pieces together really help make it look like it's totally covered. I think I'm going to name this unicorn Sunshine because it's yellow. Hey, Sunshine.
Great idea.
Oh. Sunshine needs a little more on this foot. Aha. Okay. We're pretty covered. Sunshine is pretty covered. So isn't that amazing? We took something that looks like a skeleton and totally covered it up. So now it's like it's coming back to life. So we just need to add some ears, a colorful horn, a mane, a tail, and some wiggly eyes. So for the horn, I'm going to make the horn purple because I think purple is a magical color. You have to blend two colors in order to make purple if you're coloring or using paint. So here we go. So to cover up the horn, I think what I'll do is make a rod. And you can make a rod, so I was doing this automatically without explaining, but what you can do is you kind of just pinch the clay into more of a long shape. So it's kind of long like this. And then you can put it down on your surface and using just a couple fingers, you just roll it back and forth. And you kind of move your fingers across the rod as you roll it and add a little bit of pressure, just push down a little bit, not too hard. And the more you roll it, the thinner and longer it becomes. So I call this making a rod, but some people might call it making a snake. But it's basically the same thing. And once your rod gets really long like that, you can actually use 3 fingers and just gently move them back and forth as you roll your rod. And you just keep going until it's as thin as you want it to be.
One of our friends say they call it a hot dog.
It is like a hot dog, but you don't want to eat this one.
And some of our friends are asking if you have any pets.
Oh, you know, I grew up with dogs and cats, but right now I don't have any pets, but I would like to get a dog as a pet. So maybe in the future I'll have one, but right now me and Sunshine will just hang out after I'm done. So what I'm doing is just wrapping the rod around the unicorn horn. So I just started low at the base of the horn. And now I'm just kind of moving it up and up and just wrapping it all the way around until we get to the very tippy top. And I'm gonna even go even further. So my unicorn horn is very heavy duty. It actually looks a little too heavy for my unicorn. So I'm gonna kind of squish it, make it a little bit more thin. And as I squish it, I'm gonna kind of turn it a little bit and twist it. So
The way that looks.
yeah, it gets a little bit thinner. There we go.
So Meredith, we have a friend asking, how do they remove the clay?
Remove the clay from the armature.
Yeah, I assume. Yeah.
So if you want to remove the clay, all you have to do, you could either use your fingers and just lift it up. It just peels away really nice and easy. You can put it back on. Or you can use a tool, one of our clay tools, and you can actually just kind of cut it away if you want. Once you put a little cut in there, you can just lift it off or roll it off pretty easily like that too. So, and like I said, this clay is so nice and easy to work with. If you make any kind of a mistake and you do want to remove the clay, you can just peel it off and put it to the side. Like if you need to store your clay after you already open it, you can put it in a ziploc baggie, a little bag that you can close up to keep it nice and clean and soft. So it won't dry out, but you can keep it nice and clean that way. So if you do need to remove any clay, just put it in a little plastic baggie so you can keep it to use for the next time. So we have our horn. And now I want to make a colorful mane and a colorful tail. So I think I'll use the orange. Or maybe I'll use the blue and the purple. I think I'll change my mind. I'm going to use the blue and mix it with the purple so I can show you guys how to do a marbled effect with the clay. Jennifer, do you know what I mean but when I say marbled effect for the clay?
Yeah, but I bet our viewers don't. Do you want to explain it?
Sure. So marbled is kind of like if you've ever seen a marble and it has a couple different colors that seem to like intertwine within each other. And it's kind of random, but it makes these really flowy types of designs, like in a marble or in a marble tabletop. So how we achieve that look is by taking two different colors of clay. I think I need a little more purple. So I'll take the purple and the blue, and I'm just gonna squish them both together and squeeze them and squish them so the colors start not blending, but start kind of intermingling. So we don't want to blend them so it becomes one color. We want to keep it so you can see both colors. So that's what
That looks so
marbling
fun.
is. Isn't it pretty?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so easy to do. Like it's really easy, and I kind of want to just marble all the colors and see what that looks like. Look at this part. Isn't that pretty?
Very pretty.
So this is what our unicorn mane is going to be made out of. It's going to be a marbled blue and purple mane. So to put the mane on our unicorn, I'm just kind of going to make a little shape like that and do the same type of rolling. But I'm going to make one end of it thinner than the other end. So I'm just going to roll it a little bit more. And now you can see it's kind of like a cone. This side is thinner and this side is thicker. And I'm going to take our beautiful marbled mane And I'm just going to stick it to the center of our unicorn head, like that. So you can see, I just kind of stuck it down right here. And then I'm going to push it up against our unicorn. I pushed it up the back of his neck and onto his back a little bit. And now you can kind of shape it. I'm going to put a little bit more hair up there. I'm going to actually take some off the back so it makes it kind of like a frayed edge, like that. And then what I just took off the back, I'm going to just take a little bit and make his mane kind of come on the front of his horn a little bit. So he has kind of like a little funky hairdo up top. So we have his mane that goes all the way down his neck and a little bit up front. I kind of made my horn move, so I gotta put that back. And we still have some purple and blue marbled left. So I'm going to use that for his tail. So I'm going to do something different this time. I'm actually going to squeeze it into 3 little pieces. And I'm going to make 3 separate rods. And you want to make this rod as long as you'd like your unicorn tail to be. So let's see how this looks. Oh yeah, that's a nice long tail. So I'm going to make all of them about this length. And you can use different colors if you want. You don't have to do the marbled effect. I just really like how that looks. So you've got 1, 2, and this will be 3. Ooh. Sometimes I've seen horses with braids in their hair, and having 3 rods like this makes me think it would be kind of cool if we braided it together and it would have a braided tail. But for right now, I think I'm just gonna kind of squeeze the tip together, the tips of the 3, so they're attached right here. And I'm gonna attach it to our unicorn where the tail goes, right here.
Very cool.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna kind of just twist them together. I'm gonna twirl them together like this, just to give it a different type of look. A more interesting design, we'll say. And we'll go like that. So you can see our unicorn tail is made out of 3 rods that we rolled. And then we placed on the back of our unicorn, we squished it on, and then we kind of swirled them all together and squoze the tip so they all stay together. And like I said, this clay, it loves to stick to itself. So it just kind of stays like this. I don't even have to do anything. It just stays just like that.
Hey Meredith, does the clay harden overnight?
No, it actually doesn't. This is modeling clay that stays nice and workable. But we do recommend you put it in a plastic bag or some kind of a storage container if you don't use it all up, just so you can keep it clean for the next time you do want to use it. So what I'm doing now is making our unicorn ears, because unicorns, like horses, do have ears. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the yellow clay and pinch it in half and kind of just squeeze it into a triangle shape. If you can see that. And then our triangle shape goes right kind of close to the unicorn horn. And I'm going to use our tool to really blend it and push it on there. Hello, now you can hear. Now Sunshine can hear out of one ear. Yay. And we need a second ear. So same thing. We kind of just pinch this round piece using my thumb, my other thumb, and my index finger. I can kind of just pinch it together to create a little itty bitty baby triangle. And then I squish it this way to flatten it out. You can see our little triangle. And this little triangle goes right here by our unicorn horn. And we can use our clay tool to go ahead and just smear it on there. Nice and good. So now Sunshine can hear out of both ears. Yay! What are we missing, Jennifer?
Eyes.
Eyes, yes. So we have these fun wiggly eyes. And I'll just open these up. And you don't even glue it. All you have to do is just stick the little eyeball into the clay. And because this clay likes things that stick, or it's kind of sticky, it allows things to stick to it very easily. So
One of our friends said they don't have wiggly eyes, but I would assume they can just use some clay, right?
oh yeah, definitely. You can just make a little itty bitty clay ball and stick it right onto your unicorn face or whatever animal you're working on. So we have the wiggly eyes, but you can use blue or black or orange or whatever color you want and make your own little eyeballs. Doo, 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 doo. And so I mentioned My Little Pony before, and My Little Pony, one thing that I really liked about them was they were pretty happy most of the time, I'd say. So I'm going to give our little unicorn a smile. And you can use any clay that you want and make another really teeny tiny little rod to make a smile to add to your unicorn. Or you can just use your clay tool and kind of just cut into the clay like I did in order to create a smile. So we have our happy little sunshine here. And when you do that, actually you can make, like for the mane, you can make it look more like hair by, let's see if I can do this with my left hand. Just by marking the clay with your clay tool, you can make it look even more like hair by adding texture, like lines. And ta-da! Looks even more like hair. I don't know if you can see that, but now we have some texture to our mane. And we should do the other side too. And you can kind of see on Sunshine, there's little pieces of blue clay that kind of were stuck to my work surface. You can use the tool and just kind of like flick those off and put them to the side. So you keep your clay the color that you want it. Yay! Now, Sunshine has a beautiful flowing mane of purple and blue. Okay. So the other thing about those magical little ponies is they had a little design right here on their back area. And I think it'd be really super sweet if we introduced another color like orange and gave Sunshine a little sunshine or a little heart on her back leg. So that's what I'm going to do next. So that's why this is so fun. You can just keep adding any little details that you want and really make it personalized to what you like. So to make a sunshine, I'm just going to grab a very small little bit of orange and just roll it in between my fingers to make a really little ball. And I'll put that right on Sunshine, like that. So that's the center of the sun. And then we just need to make really itty bitty little rods that we can call sun rays. So here's our little itty bitty rod. I'm gonna cut it into 1, 2, 3 pieces. So I've just made 3 little itty bitty sun rays. And we'll put that on Sunshine. And I think we need a few more. So I'll just make some more by just rolling this whole little piece into a long rod and then cutting it up. I wonder if any of our visitors today are naming their little creations. Like my unicorn is named Sunshine. Have you named anything out there? Anyone who's creating with me today? Do you have a name for your animal?
Hannah named her T-Rex Terry.
Terry. Nice to meet you, Terry.
We have another friend who named their T-Rex Spike.
Wow, I wonder if Spike and Terry know each other.
And Brooke said she named her unicorn Donut.
I like that.
And then we have another friend who's called their dragon Gary. Another unicorn named Emerald. Fluffy, I love that. Grace named her cats Treasure and Beauty.
Wow.
Lots of fun names, everyone.
Those are awesome names. And I'm so glad that you're also naming your creations, your creatures. Okay, I'm just about done with my sunshine on Sunshine. Ta-da!
Beautiful.
Sunshine has a big sunshine on her back. So we're done with our unicorn, unless you want to add more details, like little rings around her feet. You actually could put little itty bitty pieces of clay that make it look like she had her nails painted. That would be cute.
Very
Or
cute.
you could just add different colors of clay and make it look like she has sandals or shoes on. There we go. So this is one of our mythical creatures. Now you had mentioned the dinosaur kit that we also have. So I wanted to take a second and show off our dinosaurs that we have done. So here's our T-Rex. So you can see he was made with many different colors. And then we have, well, what is this dinosaur? Do you remember what kind of dinosaur this is? I don't remember.
Ask me this.
Is this a Triceratops? I think it has 3 little horns. 1, 2, 3. I think it's a triceratops.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank goodness.
Our
And
friends have confirmed. Thank you, friend.
Thank you for your help, guys. Sometimes I forget what dinosaurs we had.
Me too.
And then we do have our T-Rex, who I think was hanging out with some other dinosaurs, and some of his clay came off of him. So I have to kind of squish it back on. But maybe he was playing with the Stegosaurus, and some of that clay transferred off of Steggy and onto Terry. There we go. So here's our T-Rex as well. Cool. All right. So one thing we didn't use for this, for our unicorn, was the feathers. So these feathers were put in the kit if you were to do the, or when you do, the phoenix. And just to show you how you use the feathers, how you can put the feathers on, I'm going to give our unicorn some wings and use the feathers for the wings. And it's really easy. You can do it one of 2 ways. And I'm going to use the orange ones for the wings. You can take just a little bit of clay and add to the tip of the feather and then smush it on, or you can just try to smush the feather on and then add a little bit of clay over top, like this. So just doing that, it stays very nicely. And this is what it looks like from the other side. And it's really fun to add feathers like that.
I love that.
Yeah. So there's one wing. And we'll put the other one on too. Just kind of push it on. You could even use your clay tool and push it on. And then just add some clay over top of it. So it's sandwiched between the clay. There we go. So we have our beautiful sunshine unicorn with feathery wings. Now, I believe that a unicorn that has wings is actually called something else. I'm wondering if any of our friends out there knows what that could be called. A unicorn with wings. Do you think anyone knows, Jennifer?
One of our friends, they're saying Pegasus.
That's right, yep. So we've actually taken our unicorn and made him, her, into a Pegasus. So, like I said before, you can do whatever you want with the clay and make whatever you want just by molding the clay, however, and then adding the little details like the wings or the wiggly eyes or whatever else you want. You could actually make them polka dotted like our Triceratops. So should we do one more, or are we running out of time?
We're running out of time.
I think so too. So should we see, oh, well, I guess we can't really see what our friends are doing out there. Do our friends have any other questions?
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, just ask them in the question and answer. And Meredith, if maybe you want to show the box again, just so they can see which kit this was from. And I don't know if you have the dinosaur box, but you could show that one as well. If not, it's okay.
Okay, so here's our little unicorns. And you can see this unicorn actually had multiple colors of rods that created her mane, and the same with her tail. So here is our box. Our Create with Clay mythical creatures. And you can see our phoenix that we learned about, our dragon, and our unicorn that we made into a Pegasus. And let's see, I might have dinosaurs here. Nope, actually, I don't think we have them in the room. But I did want to show you one more thing just before we end. Something very creative in our instructions. They actually took the feathers and stuck them into the dragon's mouth to make it look like fire coming out. So I thought that was pretty neat too. And we can actually do that to our dragon right now. Real quick. Well, that's a lot of feather. Maybe just take some of them. You could just take a couple little pieces of feather, add a little bit of clay, and then stick that in our dragon's mouth to make it look like he's breathing fire.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And friends, don't forget that this class is being saved and recorded so that you can find it on michaels.com/online classes, so you can rewatch and kind of look at the different fun techniques like marbling and adding the feathers and braiding that Meredith taught us.
Well, thank you very much, Jennifer. And thank you for everybody who was able to join me today. I hope you had a really good time. I had a good time doing this, and I love working with clay, and I love doing these classes with Michaels, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.